Urgent provincial cabinet meeting has been called by KwaZulu-Natal Premier Sihle Zikalala. ENCA's Tuba Vilane joins me now for an update from our Durban studios. And Tuba, I mean, this is a difficult time for the government in particular to navigate. Just a few weeks ago, we were talking about how the State of the Province address, this would have been the first one in many, many years when the King was not present because of ill health, and now waking up to the news that usekhotheme.
Thulasizwe, you'll know that for many years, I'm sure since we were born, we'll know that during the opening of the provincial house or the legislature here in KwaZulu-Natal, the first day will be the day that is reserved for the King, where he will be giving the marching orders to the people of KwaZulu-Natal and government and talking to the government and about what is expecting for the people of KwaZulu-Natal and for the people of this country. But you correctly said this year the King couldn't be there, and the day was then cancelled because he was still in hospital. But after that, we were hoping that the King was going to be better because we were told that his condition was getting better. But sadly this morning we received the news that the King has unfortunately passed on. He's been a very key person in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, working very closely with the government of the province. You will know that on the issues of development, he was very, very key on those issues, especially on the issue of tourism. As you know, that many people from abroad and will come to the province of KwaZulu-Natal just to learn and understand more about the Zulu history. So these news are really devastating, and for not only for KwaZulu-Natal but for the country as a whole. So we understand that Premier Sihle Zikalala and his cabinet are going to meet this afternoon. Earlier on, they issued a media alert where they were cancelling all government activities for the day. So we're expecting that the Premier obviously will speak about the plan going forward, as we believe and understand that the provincial government and the national government will be much involved in planning and preparing the sending off of His Majesty.
Yeah, and Tuba, this is about that balance between the constitutional state, constitutional democracy, but also recognizing what was there before we reached democracy in 1994, the historically established institutions such as traditional leadership and ubukhosi, and that collaboration and cooperation that you talk about, but also in issues of preservation of the history of a proud people, right? And ensuring that that's always kept alive and people always remember who they are. But I imagine, though, Tuba, that in the coming weeks, coming days and weeks, we'll be hearing a lot more about the King's role in ensuring cohesion within AmaZulu as a people, because, you know, politics can be fractious, and politics has been fractious for decades on end, and at times violent. But this was someone, a figure, an institution that people knew that whatever our differences, we can always rally around this particular person, his identity, but also what he means to us as AmaZulu. Am I correct?
And correctly, Thulasizwe, as you will know, KZN during those difficult days was the playground. That's where many killings took place, and you will understand and you will know that the King at the time would have been very much hurt, but trying to get his people to sit together so that they would be able to reach a consensus. As you'll understand that the king from the royal house, where the president of the IFP, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, is also coming from. So for him, being able to distinguish himself, not to say because one of our own, being the Prince of Kwaphindangene, Inkosi Mangosuthu Buthelezi, and the leader of the IFP, so I won't be able to say I'm taking the side of the IFP. The king distinguished himself, and he welcomed and worked with all political parties in the province. I'm not only talking about those days, but even on the current situation. We've seen where the king will host other political parties. We remember the Democratic Alliance has visited the king. We've seen other political parties, including the EFF, where they visited the king. And on the latest issues, Thulasizwe, you will remember that around 2015, 2016, there were difficulties and differences between the two leaders of the ANC in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, that being the former chairperson of the province, Senzo Mchunu, and the current chairperson, Sihle Zikalala. But we saw the king calling them and sitting with them together to try and restore peace among themselves. So the king was very much involved in ensuring that besides being the king, the traditional leader, but he is also involved in ensuring that whatever that is happening within the province does not take us back to the bloodshed that we saw and we witnessed during those back days.
All right, we're going to leave it there for now. ENCA's Thubelihle Vilane there. We're paying tribute to AmaZulu King Zwelithini, 4 decades on the throne, at the helm of the Zulu monarchy. And you can imagine, just rewind back and think about what these last 4 decades have been, what South Africa has been through. He's been that one person that's been a constant, especially for those people who identify as AmaZulu, but also for broader South Africa. There's simply been no shaping of South African history and the trajectory forward without involving the AmaZulu king. He had to be a key part of the conversation, even at the time of the transition. So, Isikhotheme isilo samabandla, uKing Goodwill Zwelithini, King Goodwill Zwelithini kaBheka uZulu has passed on.